All right, let's get right into it. We're all chasing that perfect AI result, right? We want them to be consistent, reliable, and frankly, a lot smarter. Today, we're going to pop the hood on a system designed to do exactly that, the MCP Server Prompt Optimizer. You know the feeling, you spend time crafting what you think is the perfect prompt. You lay out every single detail, you hit enter, and what comes back is just not it. It's probably one of the most frustrating things about working with AI right now.
So you give it something simple, something crystal clear. You say, I want a cinematic photo, and you even give it the specific aspect ratio, 16:9. That's a critical, non-negotiable instruction.
And this is what you get. I mean, it's a nice photo, sure, but it's square. It completely ignored the most important technical command you gave it. That gap, right there, between what you meant and what you got, that's the exact problem we're here to solve.
So how do we fix that? How do we bridge that gap? Well, the answer isn't just trying to write slightly better prompts. It's about having an intelligent copilot in your corner, working for you. And that is exactly what the MCP Server Prompt Optimizer is designed to be.
And look, the key thing to understand here is that we're not just talking about a simple tool that tweaks a few words. This thing is a proactive, intelligent system. It actually intercepts your prompt, figures out what you really want, protects your instructions, and then makes it 100 times better. And that whole process kicks off with a really deep, multidimensional analysis. Before it even thinks about changing a single word, the optimizer needs to understand the true DNA of your request. But that sounds a bit abstract, doesn't it? So let's look at our real-world example. What happens when your prompt is a mix of plain English and a block of computer code? How does a system even begin to make sense of that? Check this out. This is a perfect example of a mixed content prompt. You've got a request for help in just normal language, you've got a specific error mentioned, and then you've got a raw snippet of Python code. A simple rewriter would just get totally confused here. So the first thing the Universal Content Analyzer does is just break it all down. It instantly sees, okay, this isn't just a blob of text, it's about 2/3 Python code and 1/3 natural language. This is how it can tell the difference between your instructions and the data you're working with. It's brilliant. But it goes even deeper. This is where it gets really smart. The sophistication detector then scores the prompt on different levels. It sees, okay, the vocabulary is pretty simple, but the technical content is highly advanced. And knowing this is absolutely crucial for applying the right kind of upgrade later on. Okay, so the system gets what your prompt is made of. Now what? Well, its next job is to play bodyguard for the most important parts, the commands that the AI absolutely, positively cannot ignore. The best way to think about the parameter preservador is like a firewall for your instructions. It finds those non-negotiable commands like an aspect ratio or a temperature setting and basically puts them in a digital vault where they can't be touched. And the process is so slick and effective. First, it identifies those critical parameters. Second, it pulls them out and sets them aside. Third, it works its magic on the main text part of your prompt. And fourth, it reattaches your original parameters, completely untouched. Your key instructions are never lost in translation. All right, so the prompt is understood and the critical parts are safe. Now, the optimizer gets to do the really cool stuff. It moves beyond simple rewrites and starts using advanced techniques that, honestly, mimic what the best prompt engineers in the world do by hand. The first of these pro-level techniques is called few-shot learning. And the idea is actually super simple but incredibly powerful. If you want an AI to do something complex, the best way is to show it an example of a great answer first. So let's say your prompt is kind of big and abstract, like this one. It's a decent question, but it's so open-ended that you're probably going to get a super generic, not very helpful answer. So the optimizer instantly recognizes this is a problem-solving prompt, and bam, it injects a high-quality, beautifully structured example right into the prompt itself. It's not giving the answer, it's showing the AI how to think about the problem. This leads to a response that's way more detailed and actually useful. Okay, but what if there isn't just one best way to improve a prompt? For the really complex stuff, the optimizer uses another expert move: self-consistency. Instead of just trying one strategy, it actually explores multiple paths at the same time. For instance, it might generate one possible version of the prompt that's super concise, very direct, and just gets right to the point. But at the exact same moment, it's also whipping up another candidate, maybe one that's all about injecting way more technical precision and context. Then, the system is smart enough to look at all these different attempts and figure out which elements are the strongest and most consistent across all of them, boiling it down to a single consensus score. And what comes out the other side isn't just option A or option B. The winner is a hybrid, a new prompt that takes the best pieces from every candidate to create something that's way more powerful than any single version could have been. So, let's put it all together. What happens when you combine the deep analysis, the instruction protection, and all these automated expert techniques? Let's see the final transformation. I mean, just look at this. The before is a jumbled, confusing mess. The after is a work of art. It assigns a clear role, act as a senior Python developer. It specifies the exact technical task. It cleanly separates that from the creative context. And of course, it preserves every single critical parameter perfectly. This is the difference between just hoping you get a good result and actually engineering one. But here's the thing, the value doesn't just stop with one amazing output. The real power comes when you start to build on that success over time. Because every single one of these perfectly engineered prompts can be saved. You can create a growing library of excellence, a shared knowledge base of what works for you and your entire team. And these are not just text files in a folder. No way. Each template is tagged with all this rich metadata, its category, its common use cases, its complexity, even an effectiveness score. Each one becomes a smart, reusable asset. You see what's happening here? A system like this completely changes your relationship with AI. You stop being someone who just throws requests into a black box and hopes for the best. You become a director, guiding the AI with absolute precision and purpose. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Just imagine for a second. Imagine the possibilities, the efficiency, the creativity you could unlock if every single interaction you had with your AI was this clear and this effective. If it understood you perfectly every single time. What could you build then?